the studying arc begins. Also, relationships, people getting a lot closer together while still having large differences in distance and stuff between them. There is a noticeable gap, I think, that has been slightly closing, which is always a big all thumbs up, and we love to see that slow but steady improvement. The slow burn continues. And I think that's kind of it. We really didn't set a lot up going into what's going to happen here, and more so just left us in a situation where it was like, okay, this is what they're doing right now, and then it's like, all right, how will we push forward a little bit more? With ISA actually being a bit more open nowadays to like letting us in and help and do things, and not just like willing or thinking that everything needs like a transactional kind of thing to be done as like some sort of repayment or to accept the help and work of others. So slow but steady improvement once again there, and growth from her. So hopefully we just keep that up. If you guys like it all, hit the like and subscribe to me on me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion on the comments with this episode of series. Let's go on episode 5.
おはよう。
おはようございます。
Everybody's up early in the
という
morning.
か遅ようだな。
寝過ごした。
あ
そのままでも。
さっき言ったらまだ寝てるのよ。
そうなんですか。珍しいですね。
Staying up studying. Yep.
エアコン効いてるのにおへそ出して寝たりしたら風邪をひいちゃうわよね。
ああ、それしか入ってこなかったか。
平積み
No
にはでき
copies
な
at
いです
all.
ね。
Maybe nobody wants them. You have a lot of books, I
でも
mean.
それはしたくないんだよね。
へえ、推しタイトルですか。お、これ映画になって。
Oh, yeah, so that's why we need more. Definitely gonna go.
公園でだけ会える古びたバイオリンを持った少女。少女を狙う過去から来た男たち。バイオリンにまつわる謎を追い、少年は少女と時空を超える旅に出る。
Sounds weird as
二人の
hell.
未来を変える音色とは。読後、あなたは思わず立ち上がり叫ぶ。ブラボー。面白そうですよね。
夏休み映画と切り替わる頃だし。
あ、そっか。ああ、シフト。
No going to watch the movie.
今
Oh,
日バイト上がった後、
oh,
レイトショー、夜ですか。
yeah.
私今日の上がりは8時なんだけど、後輩くんも同じでしょ。
ええ、も
夜遊びするなら土曜だよね。
Right,
う言い方。
No, she meant what she
いいだ
said.
けだよ。
わかりました。俺も見たいですし、行きますか。
I was wondering how they were gonna loop the movie in, or the book, or whatever they wanted to.
つまり不健全になってしまったと。
言い方。でもね、後輩くん、連絡入れておくならもっと大事な相手がいるんじゃない？
え、誰ですか。
妹ちゃん、心配するんじゃない？
I think that's the least important person to message.
そうなんだ。
That clears up everything that she
先
wanted.
輩、飲み物何にします。
ダイエットコーク。何笑ってるのかな。
映画にはポップコーンとダイエットコーク。
定番って大事だと思うの。
了解です。味に何かご要望は。
キャラメル一択。
ああ、
Banger of a choice.
遠慮しないで食べてください。
そんな、二人で食べよう。
Yeah, yeah. Let's accidentally touch hands while we both reach over. Yeah, right in the middle. Can't wait for them to pan out and Saki's walking in with the dude. I like how we use this as the background for like the aspect change. The violin girl.
真夜中にだけ会える少女がいる。
これを預かっていてほしいの。
どうして僕が？
私が死んでも楽器は生き続ける。絶対奴らには奪われたくない。
奴らって
お願い、あと半年間だけだから。
待って、どうして半年？
実はね、私
It's literally insane how we just have an entire different series on here, and it looks so different and so quality at the same time.
見つけた。
こっち。どういうこと？
私のバイオリンはすっごく昔に作られたの。わかんないけど、奴らからは同じ匂いがする。
加齢臭？
They reek of being old, yes.
君は嘘をついてる。君が最後に見たい景色って本当は何なの？あるはずだよ。だって君はずっとそれを探してきたんでしょ？僕も一緒に見たいんだ。
A ray of hope.
君と行こう。今ならまだ間に合う。
開けようか？
平気です。
ああ、器用なことするね。
You sure capable? One hand? No.
音って全世界に公開すればよかった。
プライバシーの保護を要求します。
意外と再生数稼げるかもよ。
そこまでの芸じゃないです。
君に言わなきゃいけないことが。
Oh boy.
言わなきゃいけないこと。
This isn't gonna go well.
言っておきたいことが。実はね、私あと半年の命なんだ。
I don't know if we're booby
君は嘘をついて
joking or okay.
行こう。今ならまだ間に合う。
We have a place to go.
こんばんは。今日も暑いですね。
You killed the vibe. You killed the fucking vibe, vending machine.
先輩？
そろそろ行こうか。
お、はい。
The perfect time and moment was ruined. Shall not cross that barrier again. At least tonight.
この前教えてくれた音楽、ありがとうございます。綾瀬さんも喜んでました。
仲良しな妹ちゃんによろしくね。
Big ass car. Oh my god. Hmm.
昨日タオルケットかけてくれたの浅村くんだよね。
おう。うん、まあ。
やっぱりそうなんだ。
再テストの前に体調崩してもまずいと思って。
My work would be for nothing.
昨日の夜映画に行ったんだって。
Oh, they told you?
うん。青い夜の隙間って映画なんだけど。
CM を見たことがあるかも。どうだった？
面白かったよ。ぜひ見てほしいと勧めたいところだけど。
But you
テスト
can't.
が終わるまでは。
だよね。
で、バイトの先輩とは付き合ってるの？
先輩とはそういうのじゃない
Yeah, we're just going out casually though.
ってだけで。先輩も本好きだしさ、話が合うんだよ。
浅村くんも普段から本を読んでるものね。やっぱり本を読まないと。
本好きが増えるのは歓迎するよ。まずは再テストだと思うけど。
Yeah, don't take on too many things at once.
この子何か探してるみたい。行ってくる。
Saki. 100%, right?
何かお探し物ですか？
ああ、本を。
Are you sure? You came to scatter out?
本をお探しなんですね。お手伝いしましょう。ぜひさせてください。
はい、ありがとうございます。
任せて。ねえあなた、彼の妹さんなんでしょ？
はい。あなたは。
ちょっと。
読売しおり、よろしくね。はあ、本当に後輩くんが
Come on. They'll just expose him.
浅村くん、私、参考書を探しに。
参考書だったら。
あと、昨日見たっていう映画の原作もついでに。
あら、妹さんもあの映画気になる？だったら私がレイトショーに一緒。
綾瀬さんは勉強があるんですよ。
We can go
悪の血
again.
を誘わないでください。
悪の花が綺麗なのは人の血を吸って育つから。業務中に無駄話している暇はないの。私たちは一刻も早くこの迷えるお客様を導かなくちゃ。
A level of playing together that she can't reach.
なんだけど、
咲です。綾瀬咲。
綾瀬？
浅村咲でも構いませんけど、区別がつかないでしょうから名前で呼んでください。
じゃあ、咲ちゃんって呼ばせてもらうね。
他に何かおすすめの本が
I
あれば
recommend you
教えてほ
just
しいの。
study and don't worry about reading.
たくさん本を読んでいる浅村くんのおすすめなら間違いないかなって。
It's more of a way. I don't even know if I buy that. I think it's just more of a way to relate and connect and have things to talk to him about.
レジって大変？
まあそうだね。すり合わせできない人との瞬間的なコミュニケーションが永遠に続くわけだから、エスカレーターで一つ下がってすぐ右手側の棚だよ。
You could get me a job doing this, but you're
仕
not.
事中なのにありがとう。
That's too much
見つ
work.
けた
That's
ら
too much
帰るか
work.
ら。そのエプロン似合ってるよ。
Brother look like a natural.
早いですね。
まあ、慣れかな。ゆうたくんも結構早いよ。
ゆうたくん。
Hmm.
ああ、浅村くん。
You're quite
いつもは
close.
後輩くんって呼んでるんだけどね。
You do. I was actually gonna make a comment on that earlier. How I actually didn't remember what her name was at all because what they each call each other.
さきちゃんには特別にスマイルは0円。妹ちゃん、可愛かったね。
まだ
You,
言ってる
you get to live with that?
この年になるとね、若い子のエキスを摂取しないとそのまま干からびちゃいそうだからさ。
先輩といくつも年違わないじゃないですか。
高校生と大学生は大きな差があるんだ。分かってないね、後輩くん。
俺には永遠にわからない気がし。
There'll never be a world where I'm older than you.
後輩くん、これガチなやつかも。
ガチ？
そうだよ。
I don't know what you mean by that
それ
either.
はさすがに。
そうかな、本当に？
綾瀬さんは妹ですってば。
Pretty chill episode once again. This arc or volume, whatever we're kind of getting into here, is progressing us at a very different and interesting pace in comparison to where the first episodes essentially led us to. So it's interesting, I guess, enough to see where we're going to go. It felt like a long roundabout way to introduce the fact that each of the girls, we're introducing like a triangle in some sort of way, and each of the girls are finding themselves interested in Yuta, but also interested in the other and their relationship in some sort of way to him, and essentially putting that to the test a little bit. It just felt like the entire thing was built towards us leading into that for the most part, which I don't know, interesting way, I guess, for them to go about it. I don't think I really have anything I want to talk about in particular. I have a couple things, but I'd rather we'll go through the episode and do those. I think that'll be a bit more simple to lay things out. Saki's staying up very late because she is studying and she's working, which is a good thing. That's kind of what we need. That's the whole reason that we took this on, to help her out and try and get her into a better spot. So I'm pretty sure he's pretty pleased by that she doesn't actually need to make dinner or do any of those things for him. Dinner, I meant breakfast. So we introduce a novel that's being made into adapted into a movie here, as like a core thing for us to kind of surround this episode, and it actually takes up a bulk of it as well, actually visually displaying it in ways that I wasn't fully expecting them to actually go into. And it's interesting. It's a way that I've seen and done in a lot of other series before. It's a typical thing I think that people go down, and I'm assuming a lot of people typically like these sort of things, because if not, people probably wouldn't do them as much. But I don't personally. And it's nothing against this one either. And I think this is done actually a lot better than a lot of them tend to be. But I don't enjoy, on a personal level, when we take other stories that isn't our actual story, and then make them into our world, and then like display it and tell it in some sort of way that then has to relate in some fashion to our characters, to be able to express something or connect and show parallels in some sort of way, or whatever it is. I don't like it. It feels like something that's been overdone so much that it doesn't really intrigue me anymore. And at the same time, it just typically is usually done in a way that it's like beyond unentertaining and boring to listen to these stories that we have to make up within the other story. And it's done like that for a majority of things. And also just the way that it visually is displayed, because then it's almost like we're telling you what it's going on, like a novel, while not displaying it properly, or while they display it properly. And it makes it really hard to comprehend everything that's going on, because they overload you with too much information. And then sometimes they overload you on one of the ends, but not the other end. This one goes the direction where we go way too far in the other end and showcase so much with the visuals, and maybe not the story or anything that involves it too much, which isn't a bad thing. And honestly, I really actually appreciated the effort and extra attention to detail on so much of what they put in, because as I can skim through, we end up making our date and go into the movies here. The quality of just this entire sequence is significantly better than the series in general, and like a lot of things. I don't know why they went so hard to make this look so good, but they absolutely did, and it's extremely quality. And we utilize it as ways to like show a lot of parallels, especially down the back end with the switch of the hair color and everything between them. And it also gives us a direction for us to bring Shiori and Yuta's relationship a little bit, and push that, and push what we're going to get into by the back end of this a little bit more. So all of that's good and well. I just don't personally think I grasp, and you can explain it to me, I would appreciate that, the full like why we went so far in the direction of like really needing to flesh this out and showcase this on the level that we did, because it doesn't feel like it's that relevant that it needed to happen this way. It almost feels like something where we could have shown like a glimpse or a flash here or there, explain the story a little bit like they initially did, and then just like showcase the scenes that we had at the movies, and then maybe had some character reactions here or there, and then flashed out, and we could have immediately just been on our way. So maybe I'm missing something, or just not getting it, which I would appreciate if I am doing any of that, if you could lay it out for me and explain it. But it looks really good and it's quality, but like I'm not overly enthused or intrigued in any of this, I guess. But the dynamic between these two is great. Even down here we get that as well, but just the fun times and the banter between them while they're at the movies, picking out the things, and the overall chemistry between them flows so much more smooth than something like him and Saki does, which I think is more so we're trying to display that, but also display in a way where she might be showing some sort of interest in different ways that Yuta might not be aware of, and even if he is kind of suppressing or trying to deny those things and act like that's not actually the case. I have something to tell you. The truth is I only have 6 months to live. I was left like, what the fuck are we about to get into? Like, what is she doing? Unless she's not lying at all here, this is the truth, and she just wanted to see how he was going to react. But I think it's more of she just wanted to see wanted to replay like a climax moment throughout the movie and then replay that to him to see would he kind of reciprocate that, would he match her energy on some sort of level, would he play along, and really figure out the sort of balance they almost have, like testing him in some sort of way to see like a compatibility type of thing. We seem to get along on certain levels, but will you play along with my stupid things that I want to do like this, right? Like, can we match on that sort of level? And if so, maybe then something else can come out of it. Maybe then I'll feel a rush of emotion or an extra feeling and make me want to come forward and do whatever. And he does exactly that, which is a shock to her, and it just, the light shines through her, right? Comes right into her world as she wants to go, and she wants to tell him something, which I'm assuming at this point isn't continuation of that, and it's a break cleanly through and confess whatever feelings and things that you kind of have until we get completely interrupted and cock blocked here by the vending machine, which then shatters the mood completely, and she no longer wants to go ahead and do anything else. So she's like, all right, good good going, I'll get the fuck out of here. It was fun, the change of hair color and everything within it here, self-inserting yourself in some sort of way onto the other person. And we get like it's just a beautiful, pretty moment between the two of them laughing and having fun together. But it's just certain scenes where you get like the climax and we have them in the bed and we explain that because then we can redo that again later on. But other things almost don't do the exact and aren't re-replicated in any sort of way throughout the entire conversation or relevance to the rest of it, which just once again makes me a little like, I'm not entirely sure of where all of that was meant for or coming from, and if it was more so they just didn't have enough that matched up, so they just had to flesh that out even more. I don't know. Saki question, are you dating her? Absolutely not, nothing like that's going on. Well, you got to ask anyways. And all of this leads to realization almost, or not realization, but push in the direction of trying to allow Saki to realize her own feelings and push that a little bit more. Oh, you're going out with this other person. Oh, you might be showing interest in these other people. Oh, I actually don't feel that way or anything. But then again, now she's like, maybe I should start reading more. Maybe I should do this stuff. Maybe I should try and get to know you more and get to understand you and relate to you on a different level and a better level and be able to connect with you so much more, right? Like, so many of these things can now come into play because a little bit of her feelings and emotions are surfacing a bit as she finds out that she might things might be a lost cause for her here if she doesn't start making a move, even if she doesn't want to realize or recognize that to her own self, subconsciously kind of feeling these sort of things. So of course she ends up showing here, I need a study guide, but also that gives me an opportunity to scout you and your dynamic out with your friend. Also, this gives me a chance to see what she actually looks like and see how I might compare in some sort of way to them. Also, this gives me a chance to get the book and connect with you on some sort of level, right? And not because I'm actually intrigued in any sort of way to it either, but because then we can relate and we can have something else to speak on and have, right? Like, all of that stuff piling up and adding on. It's just a smart overall play directly from her. And Shiori, of course, up on playing this a little bit more. I mean, this is her typical self, but still playing into it a bit and really trying to scout out and observe and learn things and mess around a bit with Saki to kind of understand her as well, and then maybe feel exactly and seeing how somebody like Yuta might actually feel towards her. So each of them essentially scouting each other out in this situation, I think works. And then the questioning and trying to figure out the closeness and the relations between people while questioning last names and questioning, you know, why we call each other what we do, and, you know, even though we're related and all of that stuff. And then we later get the sequence where she ends up calling Yuta by his first name, and Saki's like, oh, what the fuck? Like, yeah, the level to show how close that they actually can be versus the distance that you guys have with the last names that you end up having to still call each other, and how separate all of that really is. We see multiple references towards the sign too. There's a job that is being offered here. Saki points out multiple things about the quickness and the ability that Shiori seems to have while working here and things that she's capable of doing. And I don't know if that's more of just her being observant and noticing this stuff, or if it's just well, he said he was going to give me a job, and then there's an opening here, but he hasn't mentioned that in any sort of way to me. What's up with that? I think it's more of she wanted a higher paying job and she wanted like minimal work. So of course we have to find something that matches that, and this isn't that, which would make plenty of sense for why he kind of maybe hid that. But maybe she is expecting to still like express, oh, we're hiring, even though this isn't what you're looking for, if it is something that you want to take on and do. I don't actually know. But yeah, allows each of them to see a little bit into each other and understand that a bit more. We mess around with the two of us here, and then she says, what did she end up saying? She ends up calling her the real deal, or says that she might be. And I don't know at all what that means. Like, I don't know what she's sort of getting at. If she more so means like she is intrigued and she's kind of into you and she's coming forward with that and being like, you have an opportunity and a shot at this if you want to go down that route. If she just means as like a person in general, from the interest in the things that she shows to her appearance to just everything else, she might be like a full package of a person. Like what exactly does she mean by whatever she's saying here? I don't know, but once again, it is notice and understanding of what she's been able to observe and pick apart just from the little conversation and stuff that she had. Well, likely we end up going back home and hearing possibly something similar in some sort of way to whatever Saki is actually feeling based on what she observed with Shiori and their dynamic too. So yeah, a massive way to literally just build up a some tension in the relationship, and a point where almost Saki has to start coming to her terms with her feelings a little bit more. And even somebody like Shiori, where maybe if they do want to do something, they have to kind of lock this dude down a lot quicker than opposed to just whatever they've been doing up till now, because it seems as though there's another player that has entered the game from each of their point of views. So it's a long progress on that, but it's fun and it's a good way, I think, of showcasing a lot of that. Explain the line at the end if it doesn't get explained in a future episode and stuff, and maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Explain the movie and relevance a little bit more if there is something that I'm not fully grasping or understanding. Yeah, that would be appreciated. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, though. If you liked it all, the like and subscribe. Feel free to check out the channel, comments for this series. I'll be back episode 6 next week. It was a great one. Peace.